Smoka.
Boom, baby.
All right. Got smokes on both sides. Very important series for Boom, of course. They are 5-7 right now in the group stage. I mean, BetBoom, very important series as well. 6-6. Even if they just draw, it's still pretty favorable for them to move on. Boom, though, I feel like they might have to come out with a 2-0, Cinderin.
Yeah, if they want to have a very good shot, then 2-0 is where it's at. I think mathematically there is a chance if they tie, but I'm actually not even positive about that depending on the other matchups. But, you know.
You never want to leave your fate in other people's hands.
Exactly. So.
But we do get to see the Templar Assassin. You've been talking about all tournament.
They've got their work cut out for them. Okay, so in the pub games that I've been playing, when I play offlane, this is obviously just, you can very easily get confirmation bias, but I feel like I'm laning against TA and Morphling all the time. And these heroes are really annoying in lane. And TA is easily the worst. Like that lane matchup for most offlaners is super tough. I'm curious to see what Jabs and Tims are going to do up here with the Tusk tanking. I think you just have to try to pull waves, but the problem is you can't do that against Bane.
Yeah.
Bane, one of the best heroes at interacting with that play, because every time you go to the wave, Nightmare is one of the longest duration, well, it is the longest duration sleep in the game, which specifically drops the creep aggro, so Tims can't get the wave, which in turn should mean that the TA just gets to lane against Sand King 1v1. That should be pretty easy, and of course Bane will come over for help whenever the pull is unavailable. But so far so good here for Jabs, of course. Aside from that, what an Enigma game, right? Like, this was picked relatively late from Yero. He's a master of the hero, and there's no BKB piercing stun. And he's playing against triple strength, or I assume Abaddon is universal, but in essence, tanky core. Great game for Midnight Pulse Black Hole. So I really like BetBoom's draft this game. I think it's super good. But I do share Misery's sentiment that perhaps the support duo is a little bit lacking. But he wanted to see team fight while he got Enigma. So
yeah, and I feel like picking Enigma against 4 melee heroes are going to be grouping up a little bit more than the average lineup.
Very good this game.
We'll see if Miero can pop off, as we've seen so many times before. Mid lane, Armel on the Green Dragon versus GPK Ember Spirit. So the physical damage is not going to be able to... Oh, it's a... Would you say it's a positive negative effect against the Flame Guard? Like, it goes through the damage, but you're not going to be able to pop the Flame Guard at the same time.
That's kind of an interesting question. I don't know what's... I feel like this overall in the game is better for Dragon Knight, because a lot of the time when Ember survives in fights, it's because he just barely lives courtesy of the Flame Guard. So in later situations should be good. Well, highly unsurprising. The first blood will be up top.
Yep.
Courtesy of Bane and Templar Assassin. Panel talked about how TA already is tough enough to lane against. Well, put a Bane in there.
Yeah.
And you got a recipe for disaster. I gotta say, though, Jabs having 10 CS here is definitely not bad.
Yeah, I was expecting a lot worse than this. And about to hit level 3 as well, so level disadvantage not as extreme as it could be. We'll be trying to run away to both Kataomi and Kiritich. Ice Shard's blocking off the Bane, but you can see the Lotus will be given to Kiritich.
That's actually a pretty important miss on the shards. That was definitely playable for Tims, where he blocks off both and then Sand King gets the Lotus. But now instead, they don't get the Lotus and he gets bullied away. So pretty bad news up here. It's only going to get harder. TA really levels up when she gets to level 3. The damage of Meld is crazy.
Do you think at a certain point Tims will, I mean, obviously at a certain point he will, but in a lane like this, you just kind of let Jabs try to solo it and you just go roam a little bit earlier than you would want to?
I think in this situation right now, if it were Tundra, the Soxa would be stacking the left camps right now for 33. But I think Tims is too late to get over there, so he will have to stack the Ancients plus big camp here, which is also fine. The problem is farming these 2 camps together is not really possible until you have level 4 Sandstorm, I believe. So that's going to be a while. And, well, Kataomi has understood the assignment. Just going to run him down and block the camp, so the stack wasn't even successful.
Jabs is doing great, though. This is... He's actually out-leveling. Well, Kiritich still has a solo wave to get through here, but yeah, I have to say, if Jabs gets is off to even just a decent start. That is really good news for Boom.
I'm surprised Katomi isn't focusing more on sentry wards. Like, just full on every sentry available, just buy it up, send it to lane, and try to shut out the Sand King. Because you can fight him in the Sandstorm with TA Bane, for sure. And if Tusk comes over to help, you can still win the fight. So perhaps there was a way. I don't know if they were out of sentries, because they've also used one bottom to block the camp, or open the big camp. They've used one to open up small camp up top. I still feel like he should have had one more available than he used, and it really makes or breaks this lane whether Sand King can sit in Sandstorm. Because yes, the reason he has the 19 CS is only because of that. Otherwise, it's hopeless. Make no mistake, though, he's still losing the lane handily. Tia has 31 and 11 to the 19-0 Sand King, but as you said, I think it's a pretty good outcome.
Yeah.
Like, this could have been way worse for Jebs.
Yeah, mid lane,
great lane for DK.
Armel owning it up 32 and 14 to the 21 and 2 of GPK. So that is a big time win for Boom. And then in the safe lane, you can see for Jack Boys, he's actually struggling a bit against Miero, which it's not unexpected considering the CS for this hero can be insane. As Jack Boys will be aphotic shielding. Gets Shackle as Kataomi making his way over as well. TP support on the way, though, getting blocked off by the Eidolons. Beautifully done. Snowball too late. And Tim's not able to block anyone either.
That's a really cool combination, actually. The Eidolons get in position, then you Nightmare with Sleepwalking, you pull them toward yourself, and you get that full surround. That was some... Grubby would be proud, Shannon. That was some good Warcraft 3 full surround there.
True.
Generally do that with a Mountain King stun into Footman surround, but we'll do it like that this time with the Eidolons. Good, drawing some inspiration there.
That's right.
Mid tower's gone, by the way. 6 minutes.
Yeah, that's what
this DK and
downside of this is.
Yeah, this is the one lane that Boom are winning, and they're winning it hard, and they have to. Like, this was also their overall last pick of the draft. They knew the matchup. They know this is one Armel is comfortable with winning handily against Ember. He should. But as you mentioned, the problem here, Jackie on the Abaddon will just have a tough time. Generally, the way you counter Enigma is mostly up to the core pick rather than the support in the lane itself. The only support that we've seen have really meaningful success against Enigma is Elder Titan or Warlock.
Oh boy.
But when the carry and the support both cannot really deal with Eidolons, you have a problem. Katsuomi will try for a sneak, but not going to happen. Double dipping here with Boom heroes. Important. If Sand King was there alone, he actually would have got it.
Yep.
Because you could sleepwalk him out of the ring.
Bane is maybe the best in a
really
1v1 situation for those Wisdom Shrines. But it will be a 1-for-1 overall.
Yeah, who else as a support at level 4 has like displacement?
Pudge.
Yeah, but then you're not in the ring yourself either. So.
But you have Rot Cinderin, okay?
Yeah, that's great.
It's a good combo. Kataomi under the tier 1 tower. Bot will Nightmare. Jack Boys for now. He actually gets blocked inside the shards by Tim's, and has to be a bit careful. Jack Boys will force him out eventually.
Like this from Boom, though. They immediately got onto the next tower. Armel not missing a beat. Took the mid tower straight up to top, connecting with the Sand King. And with Japs already being level 6, there is a fight in him if BetBoom were looking to defend here. Heritage will pull away the wave. But they're doing some good damage at the very least.
Oh, yeah. Jabs has his Epi at the ready. He's actually farming better than their position 1 for Jackie on that Abby.
Yeah, it's not exactly good news. You would like Abaddon to have a good start when you're running it as a carry like this. Abaddon carry losing lane is rough, because compared to a lot of other carries in this patch that are popular, Abaddon just farms slower in the jungle. He does have 3 points in Curse of Earnest, which that will help, but it's this is not a Terrorblade level 5 that's just going to do Conjure Image and...
Oh, can I just say, praise Gaben. There's no Terrorblade in this game. I actually didn't recognize what game we were playing.
Yeah,
watching here.
So happy Terrorblade is banned so we can get to watch TA instead. That's very refreshing.
It's something different.
It's something different. You're right. I'm just mad at TA this patch. That's it. I have a vendetta against this hero right now.
Just TA.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, a little bit of I don't know. I think Morphling is at least a little bit more interesting, both to
but when you see it
to watch and play against
almost
TA.
as often as Terrorblade. I mean, that's the thing about TA. Yeah, it's busted, but we're not seeing it.
Yeah, for a reason.
Yeah. Let's see if he can prove his worth here.
Well, so far so good, Kiritich. Top of the net worth, 1,500 ahead of the enemy carry as of this moment. Yeah, this rotation bottom from BetBoom, the pressure they put there bore fruit, so they took the bot tower tier 1, and now he gets to farm up the Ancients with his Eidolons. Has to be a little bit careful against the big black dragon here that he doesn't get splashed too much, but managed to micro it properly. We'll stack it up.
Got the Omi trapped. We'll get the Nightmare off, but Armel is also here. Dragon Tail actually puts him into the pit. It's so funny that traverses terrain. Or is it just that spot, actually?
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Wait, what exactly?
It went through the pit. I can't remember if it actually traverses terrain normally. The Nightmare.
I think it does.
Okay. Because there was that bug with the pit where there's the little sliver of
right.
no clip, as it were. GPK starting to get his bearings. He obviously got off to a bit of a rough start against that Dragon Knight, but we've seen him come back with a vengeance many a time. Certainly looks like he is stabilized so far. Kiritich going to dodge the knife. Burrow Strike is there, though, along with the Wheel of Wonder. Epicenter to follow. TP support's coming in, though. Kiritich is going to get pretty low. Does drop. How much is it going to cost him? Black Hole onto 2. Is there the follow-up, though? Armel's very tanky. GPK finally makes his way over, but doesn't really provide much in the way of damage.
If GPK TP's in earlier, that's going to cost Boom quite a bit, but yeah, late rotation from the Ember should lead to a potentially successful tower here. Making good use of the fact that Dragon Knight can play overly aggressive with a Baton in his back.
They got the Burrow, whip to follow, Nightmare save. GPK gets off his slight into Remnant. Should be fine. Cat to Omi. We'll be able to dodge out that snowball. And it looks like the fight may break up. The TP from Jabs and Armel will be good. But yeah, good rotations from Boom, good push.
For sure.
They get what they wanted.
The kill on TA is big. You really, if you're able, you want to slow this hero down a bit. It ramps up super fast. Every death is very costly for Kiritich. He did get off the refraction in time, and he almost lived, which is kind of ridiculous to see there. If that was the old refraction, he would have died so much faster. But of course, since this has been changed to be barrier-based, you need a bit more to get through there than those very small instances. Wheel of Wonder.
Yep, just a little bit too late on the TPs. On the GPK side, at least. Some smoke here from Boom. Gonna wrap around, though. See if they can find something in the jungle, or just maybe Ward Expedition. And Jackie on the Abaddon, 2,000 into his eventual Radiance.
It's just going to be spending the majority of his time in the jungle.
Oh, they got the Epi ready to go. Wheel of Wonder again. Actually misplaces it, and the whip is not going to be there in time. Attempting to TP out, but they still have the damage, so
even better.
Nothing is lost other than the life of Kiritich for a second time.
BetBoom seem a bit, what's a good word for this? They're just a little bit passive, I want to say. Maybe they feel like they can't really make moves because of the defensive nature of Abaddon and Tusk and Ringmaster Save, that Boom just have too many tools to protect any heroes they're going on. But if you're leaving your TA farming the top side of the map completely uncovered by supports, it is a very big risk, and Boom will gladly capitalize on that, killing the TA a second time.
Should mention that Miero went for drums into Helm of the Dominator. Oh, nice dodge on the Burrow. Well, what's the reason for the Helm of the Dominator? Because that's not what we've been seeing on the Enigmas so far this tournament.
Yeah, I wonder that too. I feel like this is a good pipe game. You're playing against Sand King, you're playing against Ringmaster. It's quite a lot of magic damage that you would want to block for your teammates. I feels like the type of game that will inevitably just break into big team fights because the Radiant lineup wants to very much so group up as 5 in the mid game with their Abaddon DK cores. So
maybe he wants to split push.
yeah, that might be the logic here, is exactly that read that, okay, the enemy team has very strong 5-man. I want to focus on preventing that from happening, ironically, as Enigma. Just play the split push game. Force them around the map instead. If nothing else, it's also a great farming item.
You're going to turn into that rat bastard that you were
that title is reserved for Slark.
Just Slark? Okay.
Rat bastard. Ricky as well. Ricky can also get that title sometimes.
He has a cosmetic that is a literal rat.
That's Bounty Hunter,
So
right?
does Bounty Hunter, yeah.
Yeah. But he's not a bastard. Because Bounty Hunter is a fun and nice hero.
Yeah, really fun.
Torment time!
It is Torment time.
Dragon Knight good for this.
It'll be a freebie, it seems, for Boom.
Trying just yet, maybe checking the perimeter here, waiting on additional reinforcements. Abaddon will not be present, though. It'll just be the 4 of them. They are getting scanned, and I think BetBoom might just make the Roche call, take the trade here. Obviously, TA, one of her downsides is nothing, and therefore she will kill Roshan very fast, too, with the double meld. And the Deso in hand, perfect timing, but...
Yep. Oh boy, Tims shows himself, gets the punch off. Feel like he's just gonna die to that slight. Indeed, that is the case. 4 versus 5. Dragon Tail onto the troll creep.
Dragon Form is about to end too.
Trying to create as much space as possible.
This is
Roshan just
awkward.
having his way with the Serpent Wards is at half HP, and now there's a blink coming for Armel. But like you said, no Dragon Form at all inside the Midnight Pulse. They're gonna get the Black Hole as well, but a big Wheel of Wonder. Will that give him enough time to get away in his little box? Looks like it might be the case. No, he gets shackled now by Save as GPK with the Searing Chains to follow. As the Miero drops on the other side, it seems. So it's a 1-for-1. And they're going to be able to clean up Cat to Omi. GPK, apparently he wants to fight still. Save in the midst of all of this. He's going to drop. You get the support in the form of the Ringmaster. Now GPK on the run. Good sleight of fist dodge as Kiritich coming to play as well. As that Deso in tow. Jabs inside that snowball, but not for too long. They want to go for GPK. They're going to lose one first, though. It's a 4-for-4. Now it's a 1 versus 1 battle. Kiritich versus Tims, who actually died at the beginning of the fight. So in a way, a full team wipe. Triple kill for Kiritich. TA has arrived.
Yeah. He was missing for a good chunk of that fight. Emperor went back to base to refill and left a remnant behind, came back in to fight alongside his Shadow Shaman, but Kiritich was nowhere to be found. He was very far out of the fight, but eventually he shows up and hits a couple of fools on the head and gets the grand prize. 3 stacks on the Desolator plus triple kill. And if he were to check the bottom rune now and find this Amplified Damage rune, maybe they could go back into the pit.
Got it.
Yeah, once that Dragon Form ran out, not a whole lot they can do. I mean, they're fighting with an Abaddon that doesn't have the Radiance yet, so...
Yeah, that's a very big...
A lot of dead net worth.
Imagine Jackie's lane went a little bit better, and he would have had a Radiance there. It's a totally different fight.
Oh, yeah.
It does a lot against TA. You slowly whittle down her refraction barrier, you give the blind, you have the evasion for yourself. It's could have been a big item, and he will have it now for the upcoming fight.
Yeah, despite all that, Boom, keeping things interesting.
Oh, for sure. I mean, this game is completely even right now. I have my personal bias because I'm just tired of TA. I just know how these fights a lot of the time go for the hero, but Boom have done a good job with a couple kills they found on him to really slow that down.
Oh, Armel actually blinks in. He's going to find 3 members of BetBoom waiting for him. Wheel of Wonder has to be used just to be able to get away, but Kiritich just blinks over and deletes Armel. A little bit too aggressive for the Dragon Knight this time.
Yeah, I don't think he anticipated there would be an amp damage TA showing up, but the unfortunate conclusion of this, or the result, is a dead Roche as well here. There is no way in hell Boom try to fight this with their DK in base. Kiritich... Oh, Roche actually healed to full in the meantime. He regens quite fast nowadays. But still, they'll make relatively quick work of him with the double meld plus Deso. Serpent wards, the Eidolons. drum.
Oh,
It's actually a cooldown, but
Ice Shard's going to be a bit annoying. Now Jabs being prevented from doing too much. Gets the Burrow Strike. They might be able to get the kill onto save, but Kiritich secures Aegis, and the rest of BetBoom will walk away.
nicely played by Save there. Needs to cover the perimeter in case Sand King was thinking about it.
Ooh, the Dragon Tail in time, so it's going to cost them more. Now in the form of Miero. That's a big kill for Boom.
That's honestly not bad for them, because I think this Roche was a loss regardless, so getting those 2 kills on the way out is very nice, one of them being a core. And Sand King about to finish Crimson Guard off of some of the kill gold he got there. Will be a very nice item against Sleight of Fist. It'll be nice against the TA damage, the Eidolons. Quite valuable here. And an item that we don't see Sand Kings go for very often. We mainly see Sand Kings in this tournament go for the Aghanims build and focus on dealing damage. But Jabs feels like that's not the primary concern right now, is not damage. It's being able to take the fight in the first place and just staying alive. Imagine the Aghanims will be next item for him. As eventually, I do think they will need Sand King to do a lot of damage to win fights, but not yet.
That's quite the statement. One of the cores has to do damage.
You know what I mean. There are games on Sand King where you buy like 3 auras. I don't think this is one of them. Because I'm a little bit concerned that DK and Abaddon between the two of them against especially the TA matchup, that they need some more, you know, instances of damage that just pierce through that barrier. Epicenter is very good at that.
Kataomi.
Killing him off. Yeah, well,
He's going to get run down. He's trying to make a little bit of space, perhaps. He was all alone that whole time.
Looking to ward and get some info. Well,
Yep. Kiritich is going to get punched in the air. Blocked now by the shards. They have the dust as well. Wheel of Wonder to follow. TP's coming. Armel's making his way over as well. The Dragon Tail ready to go. Do they have the damage to get through Kiritich? Pipe is applied right now, trying to walk away. It's going to be close. Jack Boy with the Radiance, but the Refraction comes at the last minute, and now the Black Hole onto 2. Kiritich, there's the Epicenter from Jabs finally coming out. That's the Aegis down. Do they have enough in the bank to continue to fight here? Miero's going to be the first to fall, save likely next. And now Kiritich stuck in no man's land, gets the Refraction off again. Jackboy's able to get off his borrowed time, and now Kiritich will burn away. Big kills from Boom as they're going to try to continue. GPK will likely be able to get away with all his mobility. Kataomi, though, will also be able to get away, it seems. But still, big kills from Boom. That's against an Aegis. They're going to take the Wisdom Shrine as well.
yeah, that's a huge win, and it makes such a big difference for the outcome of these fights that TA is the one initiated on seemingly almost every time. Like they manage to, even though he has the Aegis, just take the damage away from the fight. You can see Kiritich spends the majority running away. His only valid target right now is Abaddon, which doesn't feel good. And while this Black Hole looks quite good, he gets canceled after a second and a half by a Tame the Beast. And during this entire Shackle and this entire Epi, TA is respawning from Aegis, so the damage is missing. They could have killed Tim's quite quickly there. They could have maybe got through a secondary hero, but instead they end up getting staggered. So they did a really good job there on the side of Boom, leveraging their Crimson Guard and the fact that they got the initiation to slow down the impact of BetBoom's heroes quite a bit. And that was also with Pipe, mind you, on the side of BetBoom. So they did get that item from Euro and did not get the desired result for themselves. So, yeah. Boom looking in a very good position, without a doubt. Just got to keep the ball rolling here. This is when their lineup peaks, in my opinion. I think this Radiant lineup is incredibly strong between 20 and 30 minutes, when Sand King has his 2 items, when Abaddon has the Radiance, the DK mid, who is slated to win his lane, will use it to try to snowball the game. They'll get another tower. And maybe they even think about pushing for mid, too. They know there's 45 seconds on Black Hole, so not really necessarily any reason to hesitate too much, and that does indeed seem to be the case. They're going straight in here. Jackie.
No need to stop now. Dragon Tail to start things out. Tim's with a nice wall punch onto 1. And Jackboy's okay. He is getting very precarious here. We'll have to run away with the Crimson Guard applied or to use his ult. So Tim's is the sacrifice of sorts. Now GPK wants to continue the pressure. The Abaddon super low. No ult to work with. Jackboy's able to get off. The Aphotic Shield, though, as the Grip is going to find the SK. 3 down now for Boom. Make it 4. as BetBoom equalize this game, if not take the lead.
Was toasty.
Yeah, they tried to stagger all their stuns on the Ember, but he has Sanjin Yasha. And he was able to get off his slide and jump out, and that just botched the entire initiation. They wasted Wheel of Wonder. They wasted 2 or 3 stuns in a row to get 0 result. You're going to see it here. So Dragon Tail, Wheel of Wonder, they just mistimed it.
Yeah.
They actually didn't stun him in time, and I think they were caught off guard by the Sanjin Yasha status assist, trying to get the perfect layering. That's it. The moment that's screwed up, you've already lost the fight here. And if there's something TA and Ember are good at, it's chasing heroes down. After you give them a finger, they take the whole hand. That's 4 kills, mid-tier 2.
Funnily enough, if that was a level 4 Dragon Tail, I think they get the stun. I mean, I don't know if they have damage, but they would have gotten the stun.
True.
Line.
Yeah,
0.2 seconds for sure.
Yeah, either that extra skill point or, you know, just better play.
Yeah.
They definitely had the opportunity to stun faster on the follow-up, but just mistimed it. And I understand you're aiming for perfection there. You know that you need to stagger them well, but just got to get it off in time.
Well,
Right,
originally
sacrifice
was
from
the
John Well.
intended target. They'll have to settle for the Ringmaster.
This can very quickly get scary for the side of Boom. They're also going to lose the Tormentor here. See, TA will 2-shot that. I'm exaggerating for dramatic effect.
Yep, you really hate that hero. The save will be the one.
I've
getting
been
the
playing at
charge.
position 4. That is
Got
fun.
it.
Yeah, but at least you get farm now.
The best thing about playing TA4, do you know what that is?
Oh, TA4.
Yeah. You're not playing against TA.
Are scanning.
Oh,
That's what's so awesome about it.
I see.
We've seen 9-class experiment with it a little bit too. I don't know if we've seen many other players run it, but effectively what you do is you take the hidden reach facet that allows you to meld from way further away, even on level 1. And then you do this massive damage in lane. When you get levels, you get the traps, obviously. You get the silencing traps on minute 15 with the shard. And you're actually a very tanky support because of refraction. It's quite interesting. I thought we would see it more after 9-class ran it a bit, but maybe the downsides are just too severe. There are lane matchups for TA4 that you can just completely win with the right offlaner. Because all of the assets that she has as a carry in lane obviously transfer quite well into the supporting role too, in the early levels. Well, that was a really big swing, and this... oh. All right. Not quite fast enough on his fingers there. Save not anticipating he would be there, I guess.
Yeah, what level is Save now? Level 12, so 3 away from the break talent.
Yep.
Which
Got to be one of the best in the game.
Armel will be very sad about.
Crazy talent. It's such a weird talent because there are games that it does nothing, and then there are games where you're like, this is the best talent in Dota. You'll obviously take it against the DK and the Abaddon. Could get interesting against Abaddon if you hex
True.
and silence him.
Yeah, true.
But I'm not sure who would buy a silence in their team. But wait, when you're hexed, you're silenced too, right?
Yeah.
So hex itself,
Yeah, but
you can just hex
Probably
Abaddon and
not.
kill him?
I mean, do you have enough time? Do you have the damage? I guess with TA, potentially?
You do. Hey, I mean, if he's half health and then you hex him, you know? It's kind of interesting. Quite a hard counter.
We'll see if it comes into play. As Jackie, Radiance, Manta, and almost done with Blink.
Yeah, you gotta buy Blink here. You need to get in on the back line. I think Bane and Shaman are your primary targets. We've seen them open on the TA, but that's gonna get increasingly difficult when she gets the BKB. I just don't know if you have the burst to kill her as the first hero.
Now he's carrying a gem. Front line with that.
Yep.
I feel like it took, I mean, not that Abaddon was a core for a long time, but I feel like it did take people a hot minute to figure out this interaction with Blink being unbelievably good.
Yeah.
But it's a cool interaction overall. Just do it mid-fight.
Yep.
Very hard to predict. It looks like Nullifier's next on his list, but Kiritich, 14 stacks on that Desolator. And you're going to finish off the BKB.
I think after he has this BKB, BetBoom might be looking for a fight. It's a really strong timing for them. TA BKB, you have all your ultis ready. Your Shaman has Blink, Glimmer, so he should be able to find an opening. There. And now you get the Radiant. I mean, this is talk about a timing, right? You have Amplified Damage Rune in the bottle. You have Radiance. You have BKB. Yeah.
Not too shabby.
Unsurprisingly, immediately want to go for a move here. They're just so much stronger than they were a minute ago. And Sand King has a BKB of his own, but it's on the way on the courier. He'll get it in time. Perfectly timed there for jabs.
Jackie will scout out Miero. Blinks away, but the rest of the team wrapping around. Oh, this could be disastrous for
they find the support
Boom.
first.
Jabs. Well, they're still walking.
They're starting on Roche?
Uh-oh.
Well, they don't know what's going on, but this could be a total travesty.
Jab's going to run to many of them. Gets hexed instantly. The box to save for the time being. Now Jackie trying to create some space. Burrow striking a defensive measure. Jackie get some help with that Dragon Tail from Armel. The punch is there. It's all over the place, in fact, but GPK is very happy. They find one right off the bat. Jabs with the epicenter. Jackie isn't able to finish off the Rasta, so nice pick off here, but Kirtan to that BKB. They're trying to avoid him, but Jabs in the corner, Blair Witch Project style, will drop. And now Kiritich. Well, the silence actually applied to GPK. Sleight of Fist doesn't have any remnants to work with. He's dead. Big kill for Boom, and now Kiritich all alone. Do they have the catch? They're not going to continue as the black hole goes off, but the arrow's going to die shortly after, so 3 for 1.
How the hell did Boom win that?
It looked like BetBoom had unbelievable positioning.
Yeah, they had a good attack angle. The Abaddon in the middle of the fight is really making things tougher for TA. I'm starting to understand this counter pick more and more as we see it unfold. Like, it's one carry that TA cannot just go on and kill immediately. He keeps passively burning down her refraction, keeps giving vision, keeping her out. Oh, even get another snack here.
Armel.
And all the saves, right? This is what's so important for Boom. I think they got 2 or 3 boxes off from John Noel in that fight. Aphotic shields. Sand King got his BKB value.
And the biggest prize from that fight is the Roche. Number 2, in fact.
And the Emperor ran out of juice eventually, too. The fight was so long, he ran out of resources of GPK. He had nothing left. He burnt through his entire mana pool, trying to find kills. And then when the fight was over, the black hole came out. So Miero being shut down nicely. Have yet to see a truly good black hole in this game. In spite of, as we talked about, it on paper being a pretty damn good Enigma game.
Yeah.
He's not really been able to find the big ones just yet.
BetBoom looking for a move already, knowing that this Dragon form is likely to end soon. Interesting. They just got Roche.
Do Dragon Knights usually take this 20 talent? I feel like I almost always see it.
Pitch. They get the Hex onto the Sand King. Shackle to follow, but the box save. Wheel of Wonder as well. Remnant onto the other side, but Jabs able to BKB and retreat. So no kills will come of it.
Good escape. The DK took the 20 talent with Breathe Fire, damage, and cast range. I thought you usually take attack range, but is that only on the carry build, perhaps? And then the mid one does take this? The cast range is kind of crazy.
It is
when you're in Dragon form, your Breathe Fire, you can very reliably get it onto the TA, and maybe that's the idea. We just want to make sure we can hit her as much as possible. And the damage is good, too. I think on paper, this is a really good... Like, the 220 talents of that are just amazing, both of them. But I've just been seeing more of the attack range one in general, but that's probably more of a carry mindset than the mid. Either way. Bloodthorn complete now on Armel. With Bloodthorn and Manta, very quickly be able to pierce through some refraction. And of course, if he finds any support, he just insta-gips them himself.
Is Kataomi actually be able to afford Ags this game? He has Blink in his inventory, or in his quick buy as well, but he has the point booster already for the
when you buy the point booster, you're kind of committed, right?
He's only 1,500 away. Pretty good.
Dire's bottom tower
Now,
is
Daedalus
under attack.
online for Kiritich.
Dire are scanned.
Got a lot of raw damage now.
Yep.
Tier 2 tower looks to be a freebie. Aegis,
Radiant's
2.5
top
minutes.
tower is under attack.
Still a tier 2 in the mid
Dire's
lane
bottom
that they can
tower has fallen.
opt to go for.
Boom want to press the issue.
Okay.
They've got their Aegis. They are very strong.
Let's see what kind of defense is mounted here for BetBoom. They're going to fortify, take out this creep wave.
No counter fort. Do they have a... Was that... They have a banner. I'm a little bit surprised they don't choose to drop that here. Armel just sitting with it in his backpack. If you want to hit the high ground there...
Is running out relatively soon.
I think that would have been a good banner play. To drop it on that wave that they just lost bottom. Because you could tell BetBoom weren't at home. So dropping the banner there effectively removes their glyph counterplay to buy themselves 30 seconds. And
well, once Dragon forms back up, they'll still have a minute on the Aegis.
I don't understand why Armel is the one carrying the banner, to be honest.
Well, it fits the theme of Dragon Knight.
I guess.
They like banners.
Yeah.
Very Game of Thrones style.
Should just give it to John Well and place it when you go in.
So Jackie finished the nullifier. And how many items is that going to counter here?
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
There's a Glimmer on Shadow Shaman. The Pike on TA.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it, right? I love that voice
takes
line.
off Flame Guard in terms of abilities. How does that work with Shadow Shaman's chicken fingers? Or not chicken fingers.
Foul play?
The innate, yeah.
It removes it immediately, I think.
That's pretty good. Also has the Glimmer, like you said, so kind of double whammy. Be able to take out that support right off the bat. So Armel back in Dragon form. 40 seconds on the Aegis. Surely this is... It's getting a little close now.
That's the problem. That's why I would have really liked to see it on the previous wave. Now you end up not really getting to leverage your Aegis at all. So, a bit of a swing and a miss as far as I'm concerned here. If nothing else, you can keep controlling the map and just farming. But I'm not sure just playing the slow game is inherently favorable to you. It should be getting a lot more difficult now that Miro finally has the BKB on Enigma. He can find any sort of decent black hole onto two heroes. You can delay one of the deaths with the box, but they're still going to be taking damage during it. Now that Midnight Pulse's magic damage, of course, a lot of it will be mitigated during the box effect, but the pure damage from the black hole will not be lowered.
Radiant's top tower is under
BetBoom
attack.
will look to make a move now.
Yeah, they keep dodging Spotlight as well, which is not particularly great this game.
True.
Heritage. Gonna group up with the rest of the members of BetBoom to smoke and try to find something, knowing that the Aegis is down.
Oh, this is a good timing for jabs too. He gets his shard as he gets the Ags. Very, very strong on the Sand King now. Level 20 talent. So the incremental radius of epicenter.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's definitely
just 5 more levels from the Dream.
Yeah.
Doesn't look like this smoke will fully connect in terms of kills.
They get out on the map, though, and they have surprisingly good vision on the side of BetBoom right now. Considering they have just played against 5 minutes of Aegis, there's not a single Radiant ward on the map. BetBoom themselves have 3 out. They've got good coverage on the right. They've got a ward deep down in the mid lane. And by process of elimination, should be able to figure out what Boom are doing the majority of the time, with, as long as these wards get to stand. Jab's now picking up the gem. He wanted the slot on Abaddon. And now Nullifier for TA. Really big item for this hero. One of the things that counters it the most is some sort of defensive items like Yules, Ghost Scepter, Force Staffs, all of this.
The box has been really annoying.
The box in particular is what he wants this for. GPK could have double power rune right now. If he were to use his arcane and then pick up the regen, he'll have it in his back pocket for the fight. You can tell he's... Okay, he's not going to do it. He was tempted, though.
Ooh. Aghanim Scepter for Ringmaster. It's been a hot minute since I've seen that.
So that's 2 box charges, but unfortunately, the Nullifier will mitigate both of them on that one target.
If it's on the one target, yeah. Okay. Well, the defense mounted from BetBoom. Armel will take a lick of damage and walk away. Fly away in this case. Tier 3 at half HP. Yeah, I think both teams, or at the very least Boom, who are kind of setting the tone for the most part right now. We're waiting for the next Roshan. That's likely where the next fight will occur.
Well, they
Yeah, Smoke
say
will
that.
Kiritich is going to show himself here in just a moment. Armel doesn't want to go on him yet. His Dragon Roar is running out, so it's a bit sketch.
Jackie on the ward.
Oh, Black Hole just for the Abaddon. Can't get the ult off. Dead.
Yep,
Huge kill for BetBoom. And now they're going to find collateral in the form of Tim's.
Dude, that Shaman 15 talent is just ruining him.
Yep.
It's so crazy. They can just black hole him and then hex him, and he dies. Nothing he could do there.
And that's a free Rosh. And that's Rosh number 3, so Refresher Shard.
Gonna see the replay. I mean,
We'll be there.
The only thing he can do is anticipate that he's gonna get hexed. So the moment the Malefice comes out, instant ulti. But who does that, right?
Yeah, that feels bad.
There's
'cause if
no way.
If you waste it and
Yeah.
you misread the situation, that's a horrible play too.
There's no winning there. And Roche going the way of BetBoom.
Yeah, gonna have double Black Hole. Aegis on TA.
Oh, yeah,
Cheese
that was
on
the
GPK.
third one. That's a refresher as well. Oh boy. And they still have 30 seconds to go to work here. Can push out all of the lanes. They send home a couple of heroes, in particular the Ember. We'll just take care of bottom wave, return to the team with the Remnant. Now, back the other way we go. And BetBoom, they seem a little bit more decisive about their push.
Indeed.
Instant banner, instant serpent wards. By the way, Kiritich hit level 25, so gets his choice between would you like to be super stronger or super, super stronger? And he chose super, super stronger.
Nice.
With the 4 refraction instances over the Meld Dash.
Yep, pretty good. Some would say.
Yeah, very strong.
The banner is taken out, but this tower is one hit away from death. In fact, it will drop.
BetBoom?
BetBoom are in control again.
Yeah, and they're respecting the plays of Boom's side here and just gonna return to the high ground and control this area, probably waiting for Black Hole to come off cooldown. He doesn't really have the luxury of using the Refresher Shard, doesn't have enough mana to do 2 Black Holes with Refresh in between unless he completes his Ags, which is almost there. It should be enough of a mana pool. I guess he should maybe sell an item here. On Enigma, but it's choosing not to.
Well, you would think the helm, right?
Yeah, or the drum. I mean, whichever one you think is less important.
Radiant
Swift Blink, Ags, another big. This is such a big level up for BetBoom. They get Swift Blink, Ags, and Enigma Ags within 30 seconds of each other. Just needs the courier to arrive here for Enigma, and that's another massive level up for their side. And yeah, Boom are quite cornered here. It's hard to get out on the map. You're playing against TA traps. You're playing against Ember, who's going to keep cutting waves and giving information. And of course, Bane could be hiding in any corner. So exiting the base is effectively smoke and smoke only. And they are trying here, but BetBoom are just perched atop the hill. Not really going to give them any moment of opportunity. And now the 2 Black Holes are online. With Enigma, Ags.
Oh yeah,
This
that's
fight-
a dirty one.
This fight is going to be quite the challenge for Boom.
Yeah, to say the least.
And it will be brought to them without a doubt. I think Kiritich with this amp damage rune as well.
Why not?
They should probably go and nullify him here with the...
Well, they're going to start
Yeah, they
things
will.
out onto Kiritich, not taking any damage, but Armel is taking quite a bit. Serpent Ward is placed as well as GPK. We talked about the Aghanim Scepter. He's got a lot. Okay, they're going to use the Black Hole. There's the Hex from save, but the box number 1 is used, and Abaddon able to get off his ult in time. But unfortunately for Boom, they lose Armel. Epicenter coming in. Miero takes a good amount of damage. Looks like he will eventually drop. And BetBoom looking to reset potentially. Nice stun onto 2 with the snowball, but the damage is just overwhelming on the side of BetBoom. And without this Abaddon, it feels like this is a pretty bad fight for Boom if they stick around, but they are in their base after all. GPK with the BKB. Can be able to take Tim's out again, apparently. The Burrow Strike a little bit too late, so that's a dieback onto the Tusk. Shackle finds Jabs, who goes into the grave as well. That's an ultra kill for Kiritich. That's a buyback to try to give the rampage to him. Welcome him to BetBoom squad.
It's quite telling about this late game fight that they only get one of the black holes off because he didn't have enough mana. Actually, on Enigma, using everything was too expensive. And they didn't nullify the guy that they hexed in the black hole against the box. And still, a convincing victory. They didn't even use their Aegis for that. So if multiple things like that don't even go perfectly, and you still squash the enemy team, your late game.
This game has ended. There's 20 seconds on the
formidable.
Abaddon, but 2 more members, 30+ seconds away from getting back in this. This is still against an Aegis. Wheel of Wonder trying to buy some time, but Kiritich just continuing to hit the Ancient. And the box being used to save Armel for the time being, but you don't have that much time to work with, my friend. Miero sitting in the backside with another black hole at the ready. Will get 2, right? Make it 3. Dragon Knight gets pulled in thanks to the Aghanim Scepter. And GG eventually called, so BetBoom will take this game number 1. Nice back and forth for the most part.
I feel like a good competitive game.
Boom may be a little bit hesitant at times where we thought that they could be, you know, taking over the game with some more aggression, but don't have a Medusa killer, I'll say that.
Yeah.
Which is usually a problem, but if you kill everybody else, then maybe that'll work out. Can they kill everybody else?
I think the key to winning this game for Boom is to do infest plays with Puck. I think you want to try to catch the Coddle in particular, which, you know, they picked the Puck as a response to. I think you want to get on top of the Coddle, you want to get on top of the Bane. Once the supports are out of the picture, Lifestealer has a totally free fight, more or less. Sure, it's going to be a battle for the ages watching Lifestealer and Medusa hit each other for 40 seconds before winner is eventually crowned, but the rest of the heroes are killable. So it is this kind of awkward game where both carriers are just going to feel very tanky, at least if they get the amount of farm that we're envisioning here. But I'm with the panel. I do like BetBoom more overall. I think it's more straightforward, and I really like their lanes.
Yep, definitely easier to execute. I look at Lifestealer and I see Fiend's Grip. That scares me as a Lifestealer player. He's not a Diffusal carrier. I mean, could you possibly force it?
No.
But
I do think there was potentially a different pick in that regard, though. Like maybe you could have found another carry. Well, would not pick PL into Sand King Shaker in the last patch, and I will definitely not be picking it in this one because the hero sucks. Good riddance.
Is there a good matchup for Phantom Lancer these days? Is the question. All right, good to know. You seem to be quite happy about that. Is that your lion?
It's up there.
Okay.
I think PL
Brood is your lion.
When PL, yeah, without a doubt. When PL is, oh, hang on, Miero. He's taking a beat. He's dead.
Actually gonna dive this tower. Absolutely. John Well gets it. Obviously, you'd rather get that on the Lifestealer for the extra HP, but you'll take anything you can get here. First blood, a lot of gold. Really good news for Boom.
Yeah, Save was out pulling the wave, so 2v1 situation. They recognize they can go for that with a blood grenade. Nice little...
How would you say... I mean, we know how the Echo Stomp works against Medusa. It's very good.
Yeah.
But what about Doom? What's the matchup like in the mid to late game? Do you ever want to Doom Medusa?
You do sometimes. If you have, once again, if you have heroes that can kill, like let's say you had a Diffusal carrier, I think dooming Medusa can actually be very powerful because a lot of what sustains her in fights is getting off her ult and Mystic Snake to heal herself effectively, which you can't do, as Jabs and Tims will get a very easy pick here in Katomi. The problem is, in this game, if you doom the Medusa, I just don't know if she dies. That's the big concern. So maybe you're better off reserving your doom for potentially a Shaker that blinks in, or preventing Sand King from playing the fight. But it's not out of the question that you could do it, but I would be way more on board with it with any sort of Medusa killer.
Well, the mid lane is looking a bit worrisome for Boom. 14-7 right now.
It's a very Shaker favorite matchup.
As John Well looks to be going down here, but it might be at the cost of save. Pops a Fairy Fire, but Jackie will get that extra HP boost as a result of that kill. But yeah, 16-7 on the Earthshaker. And the Puck 6-0 right now. Is there a point where Puck feels a little bit more comfortable in this lane in terms of being able to actually CS? Because the Enchant Totem is pretty hard to counter.
I mean, level 3 definitely helps, so you get 2 points in the orb. The problem with level 1 orb is that it does less damage than an Enchant Totem swing, so you can't even guarantee to get range creeps with the orb. But of course, every time you level up your orb, Shaker also gets stronger on the enchant. So I actually don't really think it gets much easier, but I would think it gets... You have a better chance, because let's say you get... If you play the lane strategically as Puck, you get like 3 creeps low at the same time, and then Shaker will deny 1 and you will kill the other 2 with the orb, whereas when you're level 1 orb, it's kind of hard to get all 3 creeps below 80, right? Yeah. It's quite the challenge to do. So, would think it gets a bit easier, but this is notoriously just a lane that GPK just won't lose. And they knew that when they picked the Shaker, and I really liked the way in which they set it up, because it wasn't even clear whether the Shaker was a 4 either necessarily. They had the flex open for as long as they needed, and then they recognized this is a good game to throw it mid. And so far, so good overall. All 3 cores on BetBoom have the same net worth as Shaker, who's having a free lane. So you gotta say, yeah, in spite of the 3 deaths, their kills look
off
great.
The shackle. He's gonna die eventually here. And Kataomi, will he be the trade? He's pretty fast compared to Jabs right now. Burning away, though, with that Scorched Earth, and the last tick is enough.
Did he want to die? He could have tangoed the whole time, and he would have lived. So either he just wasn't paying attention to that, or this was one of those instances like we talked about yesterday, where sometimes it's actually better to just die and take that L, so you come back with full resources, rather than tangoing up to 20% and then you're still barely there. Yeah. Not sure. Considering he sent out a salve, I'm going to chalk it up to a mistake, honestly, because he did have the resources this time to get himself in fighting shape.
So let's talk about the execution past the landing stage for Boom and these engagements that are yet to come. We talked about taking out the supports. They have the tools to do that. I mean, we talked about the grip on Lifestealer, but I mean, even just Chakra Magic on Medusa, it's essentially HP boost, right? Yeah. So you got to kill these 2 supports. Feels like it's an inevitable choice or inevitable strat that Boom are going to have to go with. Do they have the tools to do so? Yeah.
They definitely have backline jump, right? You got Puck, you got ET to scout them. Catch with the Spirit. Shaman will get a dagger eventually on Tims. Oh, Jabs and Tims, speaking of. Going to work again here on Kataomi. No Nightmare available. Nice Gorgon's Grasp, but that might actually be enough.
He stopped an auto attack, Jabs did, and might actually cost him. Salve, going to be canceled. The Infernal Blade. He will tick out. Jabs will take a couple pop shots from the tower, and a Mystic Snake will survive, but just barely.
Yeah, interesting. He has the speed aura. That's why they were able to get that kill to begin with.
Oh, nice. Do they actually have damage here? Johnwell comes in with the Echo Stomp. Tiratich, nice Mystic Snake, getting a decent amount of mana after the fact, but now he's going to drop real fast. TP from Kataomi, technically a 1 versus 3. Now we have another teleportation actually being canceled.
Really love that move from Johnwell there. One of the luxuries of the Sand King versus Lifestealer bot, you can just leave, but my goodness, does Miero have a lot of XP. Top net worth, level 6.5.
Yeah, well.
He is having the time of his life, but you can leave Lifestealer alone. Sand King, he's gonna farm, because Lifestealer can't really do anything to him, but at the very least, you're applying the pressure elsewhere then, instead of just being a sitting duck bottom and doing nothing on your ET. Armel will pick up his 6 now, finally. So GPK is half a level ahead. To be honest, this mid is not going too poorly. You're 400 net worth down minute 7 on Puck against Shaker. I think that's kind of par for the course for Armel.
Radiant are scanning.
This Sand King's got to be a problem, though. He's getting really farmed.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of games where the Sand King gets off to a really good start and feels like they just take over the game in a lot of those games, in a lot of those cases.
And we've, at the same time, we've also seen a lot of games where Sand King has a bad start, and you can really tell the difference. Like, this hero snowballs very hard and doesn't play the best from behind, but in this game, absolutely no worries. He's going to start fighting Johnwell here. Actually, might just go for the kill, but open wound.
At the center, going to be canceled. Like you said, open wounds preventing the chase, and the coil coming in now. Armel and company. This will be a really big kill. We just talked about how fat Miero was.
It's a big
Boom
one.
are going to take all of that juiciness with them.
It is a forced Puck rotation, though, but that should be worth it overall. You expend a lot of resources on Puck and some time, but considering, again, the mid matchup being the way that it is, Armel happy to be involved in anything, really. Continuing the stacks here are BetBoom, trying to stack both big and small, but...
Oh, Echo Slam from GPK.
Oh, they got him.
Armel gets deleted. Wow, now they have the Fiends versus Kataomi. Gets 6 off of that kill. Jabs coming in, though. Okay, the Doom applied to the Earthshaker. John Well from the other side, trying to force him out. Tim's in the meantime being chased as well. Jabs eventually will get the tick out. So ends up being a 1-for-1 for the mids at the very least. Supports. Tim's is actually staying alive, gets the shackle on the save, and will not die as a result. Great turnaround from Boom overall. They did lose the puck first, which is unfortunate for Armel specifically, but
if this ET Spirit returns, yes, I was just going to say, the moment the Spirit returns, he can TP out. This was the only way he was going to live there, as Lifestealer was catching up over time with the phase boots. Nice heads-up play from Kataomi to escape that situation. While all of that was happening, Nero's just been farming, and now another triple stack ×2 will be made here from Save. And he does need a little bit of space now on the Caudal. Level 3 minute 9 is pretty...
Oh, wow.
Pretty atrocious, but, you know, you have the... You're going to get some shared experience from the camps you just stacked. You can maybe give him the lane when he's level 4, so he has at least 1 point in the Illuminate. And Save is pinging it out. Nero, please save my game. And he will head up there and bring him back into it. Jono's been trying a little bit to contest some of the stacking. He managed to block the big camp of the Dire, so they only managed to stack the Ancients with the Shaker Illusions earlier. But of course, this right-hand side, this is part of what's so powerful about this is it's really difficult for the Radiant team to access this area of the map and block these camps, right? It's just such a long trek to get over there. And John Well is going to make it, but might just cost him his life now. It
oh, yeah, he's going to be blocked off as well. So, oh, gets bounced around. Echo Stomp. Ooh, not quite in time.
Yeah, I don't know. I like the mindset of being this hyper-focused on blocking camps, but at the same time, the right-hand side of the map, it's such a long walk. You can easily get killed on the way, as happened there. And unfortunately, maybe a little bit too little too late, blocking these now at 10 minutes when Sanking has already farmed up 2 times stacks there.
I mean, the good news for Boom, though, Jackie off to an incredible start. Net worth for Lifestealer at this stage, before Radiance comes online, very respectable. It's a hero that can feel sometimes quite underwhelming in lane. This has no damage to work with, but participated in a couple kills, and it's really catapulted his game. The Radiance not too far away.
I should be getting it at like 13 minutes, I think, which is definitely respectable.
Oh boy, he already used his Illusory Orb. The grip is going to be there as well. Big pick off for BetBoom, baiting that spell out. Well, the Creep Wave did that, I suppose.
Yeah. A nice anticipation from BetBoom that the Creep Wave was going to walk down the mid lane.
Yeah, doesn't always happen. Jabs. That's the drums. Kataomi scouting out a bit. We'll walk away.
Oh, Tim's. Who's finding who here?
Shackle. Going to set things up for Jackie. There's the coil to follow. So another death for Miero after such an incredible start. Big plays from Boom. Now the Tier 1 tower with the Roster Wars place should
very
be
quick to react. It's good to see. The moment they see the Sand King down there, puck insta-TPs. That was a very fast response and a good reward. Kill into tower. Very nice. Tim's keeps fake attacking with the Serpent Wards as well to make sure he gets the last hit too so it doesn't get denied. It's the little things.
And GPK shows his blink. Or at least,
yep.
I believe he did. They can just click on the top if they didn't see it, but so it won't be a blink reveal.
Ooh, this is a good rune for Shaker though.
It is.
They have Doom against him, but
the Slugger Facet has got to be one of the most comical ones in the game.
It's also one of the best.
Yeah, it's very good.
I think conceptually, I love it.
When we read it the first time, it's like, this looks and sounds hilarious. Yeah. Probably not that good, though. Ends up being really good.
I think they also buffed it since the original version.
For sure.
But at this point, maybe a bit too good. At the same time, in Pro Dota right now, Shaker not the most common pick. So
yeah, why don't we nerf everything, including the heroes that aren't picked, Cinderant?
Yeah.
That's what your job would be.
Yeah, you could just nerf some more than others. Nerf everyone, but nerf some more.
Okay.
Oh, I wouldn't mind that.
Nerf Roche.
Yeah, sure.
Karatic left all alone for the time being, will tickle away at this tier 1. Won't be able to get it yet. Jabs and Tims waiting in the wings. And for Kiritich, has the Yasha, almost done with the Manta, in fact. Oh, Tim's gonna get backstabbed. Fissure sets things up. He gets off the Hex, though, and the Doom to follow. The grip onto the Doom. In the meantime, Tim's actually walking away. Nope, the chicken doesn't save him for long enough. A big coil coming in as Armel collapses from the other side. Double kill for him, but the epicenter, Miero, Infest is actually going to keep Jabs alive. Great timing. And Miero really wants to get something out of this. They will get one. And Miero with the TP. Wow, nice. Will get out of dodge. So ends up being a 2 for 2. Looked pretty bad for BetBoom initially.
That was a couple of really nice details in that. Kataomi managed to kill the Shadow Shaman because of a blood grenade. Otherwise, he would have lived with the foul play facet and or innate, excuse me. And then in the end there, the Chakra Magic for the second Sand King stun, and then recognizing that TPing out is a play kind of salvages the situation for BetBoom. As you said, it was starting to look quite bad when the Doom came in. They got the quick kill on the Shaker. Turning that into a draw, I think, is quite impressive.
Yeah,
from the BetBoom side.
Now Radiance online for Jackie, opting for the S&Y, which pretty much have to go for against the Fiend Script specifically. And they do have a lot of stuns in general, but yeah, it feels like Fiend Script you can't really itemize for on, especially without that second facet that used to give the strong dispel. That this would be a case where you might take that. Doesn't exist anymore though.
Save has reached level 7. Start recalling some plays through here with the smoke. They're looking for an opening bottom. Armel. He's under the ward.
Oh, Echo, and the damage is there. Armel had a 3x killing spree. So a lot of gold goes into GPK's pocket, and this is a Tormentor play as well, remind you. Miero gonna force out the rage onto Jackie, attempting to run away. GPK with the attempted block, not gonna be in time though. But still, Jackie will be able to get the infest onto Tims. I mean, surely they'll eventually catch up to this Rasta, as Save having a battle against John Well with Kiritich on the side. Infest comes out. They're actually turn this around onto the Sand King. Instead, the Nightmare saves him temporarily. Miero gets to the other side. He's actually living through this with the Glimmer Cape, and now the Fiend's Grip onto the Life Stealer. The Doom, applied only to one right here, is
oh, well, he didn't live.
Not really going to be using it to too much of an effect. And yeah, Miero did eventually die after such an incredible escape. Turns into a double kill for Armel. Just all over the place.
That fight lasted so long that Puck came back. The way the fight started was killing Puck between the towers, and he had a 30-second respawn timer. And that extended just long enough that Armel would rejoin. Looked like BetBoom weren't really accounting for that possibility. Going to see the replay here. This escape is really nice. So perfect Nightmare timing. Burrow Strike gets glimmered. Lives on the outskirts. And here he's like, all right, I got to Epi and go for this kill with my team. But that Epi is real bad. I'll tell you that. It 0 heroes and killed him.
That was a rough one.
There was greatness. And there was Kick W in the same fight. That's what we love to see.
It equalizes.
Yeah.
Everything in nature is balanced.
Recetas always finds a way.
First play onto Tims, who now has Blink. Earthshaker's nearby. Oh, Blink, Hex. There's the jump, but Kiritich is here as well. Remember, Stone Gaze does go through Rage. Jackie wants to not look at the Snake Lady. Gorgon's grasp clips him, though. And the Echo to follow. Nice block off from GPK. And Jackie has to try to go around. No, actually does find a little avenue there. And Kiritich will exit to the north. So no kills coming out in this engagement. Tormentor's still alive.
Kataomi gating out in front of the Boom side.
And finally, the dewarding action comes to be. BetBoom gonna smoke. Try to prevent this Tormentor play. Tim's super low on HP right now.
They can recall down the Bane here
as well.
with save if they want. So they are technically 5 heroes here in spite of Kataomi showing top.
Fissure. Mel. Nero looking to go for Epicenter. Has the blink at the ready. Only 1,000 away from Ags as well. As Tim's actually going very aggressively on the GPK. He can hit the ward block and the Doom. He's dead. Great pickoff for Boom. He's going to buy back though and has pretty much everything at his disposal.
It's getting recalled.
Oil onto one. There's the grip. Onto Puck, but the Infest going to keep him pretty respectable on HP. Fissure to follow. Armel is fine. Jackie Boy pops out. Wants to fight. Jabs. Kind of isolated from his team right now. Tim's going to try to connect. GPK with the Enchant Totem inside that Lotus Flower area. Have to name that later. Armel waiting Rift onto 2. Jackie. It's deep. If they can get another kill onto GPK, this would be a dieback. Stone Gaze is used, so Jackie not sure if he's able to finish this off. He does. Just in time. And Armel's actually going to get another on top of that. This is really good for Boom. They're not able to get Kiritich in the end, but that is a dieback onto GPK, who's been having an insane game, and this should be Tormentor.
They're really shutting down the Shaker. They're doing such a good job. They doom him for the first kill, and then on the second one, Lifesteal is just hounding him. The Radiance is preventing him from playing the fight. You can just see these pitiful damage numbers from GPK. That was 850 damage from your mid-Shaker. Considering it's a buyback fight, that's just not enough.
Oh my god, they can't even do this! Oh no! At least nobody died, but that is a big waste of time. And Tormy will heal very quickly. Jabs. Okay, they're going to go for round 2. Okay. And the Infest should ensure they have the HP to work with. Heals about 75%. So attempt number 2 looking a little bit better, especially now that you have that pipe.
God, this is so slow.
I say that. Earth Splitter. No. Careful now, young man. Oh my god. Again? And actually goes to the north. Oh, what a disaster. They have no damage. Okay, then.
God, Lifestealer is just so funny to laugh at. I can't get enough of laughing at this hero. Look at him. This guy can't even beat an inanimate object.
Yeah.
He's just trying to hit the Tormentor for 30 straight seconds, and he still loses. What a pitiful excuse for a TA.
True.
Anyway, it's a really big waste of time for Boom. That honestly,
that
really.
How
sucks.
long was that?
It spent like a full
45
minute.
Yeah.
Because they did 2 attempts.
Yeah,
at least they're laughing it out. Laughing it off is a good sign, you know.
All right, time to gank Tormentor. You gotta coordinate this time. Need all 5. But now that it's top and this tower is still here, Tim's was looking for an opening, but BetBoom will retreat for the time being.
I think you just concede this tower here. Not really in position to defend it.
Will there be an attempt number 3, Cinder?
I hope not.
For content's sake.
Oh, I hope so.
There you go. All right, they have plenty of heroes. Yeah, Tim's is like, come on, guys.
They'll use if they use Serpent Wards.
We've learned our lesson.
Are they going to use?
All right, they do. And they're stunning the Tormentor as well. Infest just to make sure. And Tim's is rewarded with the shard. He will get 3 chickens instead of 1.
Let's go, Boom.
On foul play. They
got it down. And all they had to use was 3 attempts and a Shaman ult. It is dead.
It was worth it, though. It's going to feel gratifying now.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Nero. Looking for an opening, but I do believe Boom will retreat here. As Butterfly now online for Kiritich. That is a problem item for Lifestealer. Would have to go for an MKB. I mean, these days I would say MKB doesn't really feel that bad on Lifestealer.
Oh, it's all right.
It's better than it used to be, at least. Because now it makes, like, if you end up getting an Ags like later in the game, it feels just fine.
Yeah, and you're one of the heroes with some of the better base attack time, right? It's not too terrible. You hit pretty fast. Well, we'll see.
Has the S&Y now, so extra status, resist, ready to go. Smoke from BetBoom. And John Well will tank it.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
And
Sure,
looking at the GPK,
I was
after the
looking
blink,
at it too.
Hezekiah.
Yeah, I don't know if I love the Kaya here. I think it makes a lot of sense on this hero a lot of the time, but I think when your game is this bad, you should probably be rushing your next item instead.
Nero. Ooh, coil.
Clutch.
Ends up being wasted.
Because the problem is now Shaker is caught in this awkward limbo where the Kaya on paper feels really nice to have, but with these multiple teamfight deaths in a row you've had back-to-back, effectively your next item, whether you wanted the Ags or BKB, I personally think BKB would be good here, is just very delayed. He's queuing it up now, but had it not been for this Kaya purchase, he almost would have had it. And then suddenly you have this power spike where you can try to take a fight, and the only way you die is getting doomed, but I don't actually think you die in Doom when you have BKB. I think you just BKB and run away. As we've established, the Radiant lineup takes a while to kill heroes with their Lifestealer, and a lot of their bursty type damage is largely countered by BKB and resetting yourself, so I do like that he's opting for it here, but would have liked to not see the Kaya. But it is what it is. It's also easy to criticize, you know, when he started building it, when he bought it, the game was going better, things go wrong, then it's easy to, you know, criticize something that just didn't go according to plan. Recall from save. Oh, GPK not again. Instantly doomed. He'll live this time, though, maybe.
Let's see if they have any follow-up. Attempted TP. Echo. Oh, they don't even need it. Coil in time. GPK dead again.
It's almost out. That is also coil at point 2.
Death number 5 for him after a really good laning stage.
This is extra good for Boom because they're also pushing mid simultaneously, so that was a double whammy. His mid tower is gone. Kiritich, courtesy of being Medusa, will just start hitting Serpent Wards and not care. It's kind of invincible. They got what they came for. Sure, it gets denied, but the map opening further for the side. And now they'll find a little snack.
Yep, easy kill. More HP for Jackie.
Going straight Nullifier.
Has 274 bonus HP so far. I'm not really seeing the other facet on Lifestealer.
No. The other one's that Gore Storm?
Yeah,
I think it has its moments, but
it's a bit weird, I will say. I think the biggest thing for this facet is actually the open wounds refreshing.
Yeah.
Very good for farming. And it synergizes, if you get Ags, it synergizes really well with the Shard, which you never see, so it's going to be kind of irrelevant. Probably one of the worst shards in the game, I would say. The possibilities are there. We have another recall, save, and Miero teaming up. They see Jackie. Epicenter will be used with the Burrow Strike to follow. They have the silence on top of it. Down goes Lifestealer.
That is such an unexpected play as well. Kiritich showing up with the Orchid there on the Medusa.
They're going to mass TP mid. They're actually going to save Kataomi as a result.
Yeah, Puck can't solo kill him with the Essence Ring.
Whoa, whoa, whoa! He gets gripped! Getting way too aggressive. Oh, boy.
Uh-oh.
That is truly unfortunate.
Yeah, BetBoom looking for more, but Johnwell chose the right escape path going to the left. But yeah, that puck death seemed very avoidable. A little bit too crazy for Armel. The kill to begin with didn't really exist onto the Bane, and then he also doesn't get out. It's quite costly. This could be a Roche. I would love to see this Aegis put on GPK. I think just don't worry about your Medusa. I don't really see a risk right now for Kiritich to die, whereas GPK has been the target every single fight.
Radiant's courier has been
It's a slow Roche.
Yeah, they don't really have a good Roche line.
They're giving up, actually.
This takes way too long.
Wow, this is a game where teams just don't take objectives correctly.
Yeah.
2 failed Tormentor attempts, now half a Roche into giving up. Turns out, when you don't have damage, things don't die. It's an interesting revelation here. Tims finds Kataomi.
Does find the opening. They use the Serpent Wards as well.
Okay. Oh, he
Yeah,
almost
he
died to the
faked it.
neutrals. He was very close to dying to Desecrate there. I like those spell names.
Desecrate.
Desecrate and Petrify.
Looks like Jackie is gonna
Radiant are
go
scanning.
for a BKB. He has a casual Helm of Iron Will.
Yeah, he was building Nullifier, and now he changed his mind, huh?
Well, he can take apart Radiance.
Sure. But it is really nice to have the Radiance still, I think. I don't know.
Well, he would have taken it apart already if he
Radiant's
wanted to do
tower
that.
is
So.
under attack.
Yeah.
He can wait. I mean, Radiance does fall off later in the game.
Of course. Maybe it's not worth having both.
But very defensive build.
Yeah, I guess the mindset is there's a lot of stuns to worry about. You want to be able to sustain throughout the fight and, of course, not hit the Dusa. You want to hit everyone else. So I think the right mindset for Lifestealer here is to itemize to beat the team, not to beat the carry. You just have to accept that this Dusa will be a thorn in your side for the whole game, and look for ways to, as Jenkins pointed out, just kill the rest of the team and then kite the Dusa and eventually bring her down as the final target. I think any fight you start on the Dusa is a failed attempt. You can just Echo Stomp her, leave her be for the bigger picture. Another close game, though, between these two teams, I have to say. They're a very good match.
Yeah.
Just like in game number 1, not remotely clear who is going to pull out ahead 30 minutes in.
Bloodthorn for Kiritich.
Yep.
So that's going to be very good against Lifestealer before he gets that BKB. Miero, Epicenter. Onto a couple of heroes. Gets the burrow only onto one. Silence still applied to the Lifestealer. He actually does pop. Kiritich with the last hit. Huge kill for BetBoom.
He died from the explosion from the Soul Burn
Now
there.
a Nightmare into the Gorgon's grasp. Easy support kill. Split shot pretty good against that fast hit.
Armel, not again.
Armel,
Okay,
silent.
good Lotus.
The phase shift doesn't have blink up quite yet though, and he's gonna drop. Another big kill for BetBoom.
As we said, a very even match between these two teams until somebody fucks up and you lose a full lane of barracks. Could be inbound here. They have plenty of time, and Medusa
That hurts.
is invincible. Just keep giving her mana here. They are going to back off. That is very surprising. You've got a long time. Even if these heroes have buyback, you might as well force
Time to try to kill Roche. This time they do have GPK, adding a little bit of extra damage.
Yeah. I mean, okay, fair enough.
He does have
the Rosh?
Bloodthorn now.
I would have really liked to see them take the base tower, but perhaps it's one of those situations where you make the judgment call. You're like, if we go for the racks, we will not get a guaranteed Roche, whereas if we go here, we will 100% get it, no questions asked. I don't think he needs Aegis, man. I just don't. But okay.
Yeah, at this rate, GPK would be.
I personally think that's just a better choice to put that one on the shaker. But all right, if they see an avenue where the Radiant could possibly kill their Medusa, I get it. He is going to be the sieging hero. You want to keep him safe. But the thing is, even if Medusa gets doomed, like the panel talked about, just give her mana. You're actually healing her during doom. Anyway, Kiritich is the beast. Now he's twice the beast.
Well, I believe BKB is being delivered to Jackie, so this is go time for them.
Yeah. And this is a make or break fight. If this fails, I think you've just lost the game entirely. Even if you only lose one side of barracks, this game is very hard to recover once Medusa gets this far ahead. She's up 7k on the Lifestealer right now. That's the entire gold lead, is the Medusa itself. You're trying to go for the wrap here. This has to work. This infest play on the puck. We talked about it. You've got to jump the backline, kill the support.
Yeah.
GPK
Getting a
anticipating
position.
it.
Save Hex right off the bat. Fissure not going to do too much to Jackie. He eats up that Coddle. Now the Doom applied to the Sand King. Give me a trade for the Rasta, though. Buys back instantly. You can see one already dropped. That is a big kill. Again, does have buyback, though. Onto Armel.
Man, this Bloodthorn has paid off.
Oh, yeah.
So much on the Medusa. Love that pickup this game, identifying a moment of opportunity against the Lifestealer and Puck not having the defensive items yet as of the purchase. It's given them 2 or 3 Puck kills by now.
Oh, we have a Hex initiation again from Tims, but this is going to be a counter initiation with the Fiend's Grip inside of the Snakes. Might lead to a support trade. Kataomi eventually falls. Tims barely survives. So they get the better of that on the Boom side. 3 minutes on the Aegis, plenty of time. I mean, they're going to get this tower at the very least if they want to regroup. Yeah, and Kiritich, I mean, he's only a couple hundred away from finishing dataless.
Save will nicely refill their mana and their health. The Walking Fountain. Keeper of the Light. It's definitely nice for Jabs to have this mana burn creep to burn so much out of Kiritich. Obviously, that ability was changed to scale.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. But Lotus applied to Jackie. He cannot withstand this damage, though.
You cannot burn more mana than he can gain from the Caudal, I'm afraid.
Yeah, plus you got that second life to work with. That will be arranged.
He's full mana again.
And the
disgusting
full set
scenes
will be going the way of BetBoom. Tims infested. They're going to try the same strategy, except with more members in the base this time.
Yeah, they're not going to get the wrap, though, on Armel. Still a minute 40 on the Aegis. Kiritich. Time for round 2.
Radiant's middle tower is
Indeed.
under attack.
Onto the high ground again. Tim's still pretty far away. What the plan is here. Just farming, it seems. This Kiritich, now that there's no fortification, will continue to go to town on these buildings. That's going to be another tower the way of BetBoom. We'll back away as Tims is waiting. Miro is going to be shown. This could be a good opportunity. Actually going to go on top of the supports first. Serpent Ward's not going to be too effective as Kataomi gets the grip. Do they have the cancel? They finally do. Jackie with the BKB, but the Epicenter is doing so much work. And now dead? Jackie does not have Infest. He is going to die one way or another, surely. GPK, he finds a little bit of distance. Using the fissure onto the left side, and Jackie actually does get out. So very fortunate, although Jabs was forced to try to help out his team, and he's going to expend Doom and die shortly after.
You know what kind of game it is when you Doom the Caudal.
Yeah, he just wanted to get something out.
You're pissed with this Caudal just keeping Medusa alive forever, but... Well...
Buyback instantly. Kiritich, no reason to stop. Aegis is expiring soon, though.
I just don't see them killing him. I don't think it really matters that much. Especially now that Doom is on cooldown. How do you possibly pierce through all of his HP?
No. Well, they can't go for Megas, so I suppose you just give up this set and see if there's an item on. He's going to have a BKB now.
Nice Manta Dog.
Very nice. Sexy.
Little detail.
And you can see the line drawn on the minimap.
Kiritich says there's another lane left. This is happening as we are playing,
yeah,
of course. Kiritich doing a little bit of a...
I mean, when you're Medusa, you could actually just A-click and go AFK for a bit.
Yeah.
At a certain point in the
game. If he actually did that while pushing the base, I would give so much props. Yeah, there's firmly control of BetBoom. And this 2-0, I think... Does it officially close the book on Boom? I believe so. It does, yeah. So their
Unless
last
there's some miraculous
DreamLeague here. This push is coming. You get one last chance. And you have to find a way to get to the backline reliably. You have to get the Caudal. You have to get the Sand King and the Bane.
And Jackie's courier died, by the way. He is just about ready to finish off the Nullifier. So will not be taking apart Radiance. Has to go get it the old-fashioned way from the enemy's secret shop. So now they have the ability to get rid of some of these glimmers. But still, will be very difficult. Now the tier 2 tower down. They can go for the Megas. Tims wants to get aggressive. Armel shadowing nearby. The Infest Bomb ready to go. Kataomi, that's a good choice. Gets off the grip, but not going to last too long. Jackie ends up taking him out, but the bigger kill onto Armel. Caught off guard again. No buyback. And that could be the end of the game outright. Jackie forced to beat KB. Will run away successfully.
They can keep pushing. They have creeps in mid. Kiritich could just walk up the high ground right now.
Yeah, nothing stopping them. Kiritich onto the high ground. We'll go back for the buildings. 2 more racks, 45 seconds on Armel.
Now that you've seen this game play out, you can't help but feel like Armel really had to have a defensive item here.
Yeah, for sure.
He has died so many times to getting silenced. That's his 7th death on Puck.
Jackie trying to do something. We'll have to nightfall back to base. And meanwhile, Kiritich gets the megas. GG's called very, very, very weird game, I have to say. Started off pretty well for Boom, but an anticlimactic ending. It's just they kept bleeding and they had no way to patch it up.
Yeah, it feels like it's kind of a repeat of game 1, just a little